Tonight, you might look at a power socket and see a tiny, surprised face. Two holes become eyes, one line becomes a mouth. For a second, plastic looks like it is staring back. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain is not being silly. Your brain is using an ancient survival habit. Long before cities or screens, your ancestors needed to notice hidden faces fast. This habit is called pareidolia. That means your brain sees a meaningful pattern inside random shapes. A cloud becomes a giant, a rock becomes a skull. It feels like a mistake, but it may be one of the most useful mistakes your brain ever learned. Imagine your ancestor walking through tall grass at sunset. The light is fading, leaves move. Something in the shadows almost looks like eyes. Is it only a tree, or is something watching? In that moment, one mistake was safer than the other. If your ancestors saw a face and it was only bark, they lost a few seconds. But if they ignored a real predator, the cost could be much worse. So the brain learned a simple rule: false alarm is cheap, missed danger is expensive. Cognitive scientist Justin Barrett called this a hyperactive agency detection device. An agent is anything that can act on purpose. In plain English, your brain would rather assume something is alive than ignore something that might be alive. Does that sound irrational, or does that sound like survival? Faces mattered because faces carried information fast. A face tells you where someone is looking. It tells you if they are angry, afraid, friendly, or dangerous. Long before written language, your ancestors were reading faces like warnings from the world. Neuroscientist Nancy Canwisher helped identify the fusiform face area, a brain region strongly involved in recognizing faces. It means faces are important enough that your visual system gives them special treatment. You do not inspect a face like a chair, you read it almost instantly. That speed is powerful, but speed creates errors. Sometimes the system fires too early. Researchers Colin Palmer and Colin Clifford found that fake faces can trigger some of the same social attention processes used for real faces. In plain English, your brain may briefly treat an object like something with a gaze, a mood, and a direction. That is why a car can look angry. That is why a house can look friendly. That is why a plug socket can look shocked. Your brain is not just seeing two dots and a line. It's seeing a possible someone. Anthropologist Stewart Guthrie explored this idea in Faces in the Clouds. He argued that humans often give human-like qualities to non-human things. Storms seem angry. Rivers seem generous. The forest seems watchful. Why? Because a mind trained to understand other minds may use that same tool on everything. For ancient humans, this may have shaped stories, spirits, and gods. A strange sound in the night was not just noise, it became a presence. A mountain was not just stone, it became a giant. Stars became hunters, bears, heroes, and warnings. Your ancestors did not live in a silent world of objects. They lived in a world that seemed full of faces. Modern life did not erase this ancient system. It only changed the scenery. Now your brain scans apartment windows instead of cave mouths. It reads emojis instead of firelit faces. It detects moods in cars, cartoons, logos, and tiny icons. The ancient watcher inside your skull is still active. It is still asking the same question: is someone there? Most of the time, the answer is no, but your brain checks anyway. That is why ancient humans saw faces everywhere, not because they were foolish, not because they were childish, but because their minds were tuned for a dangerous world where noticing a face too often was better than noticing one too late. So tonight, when you look at a power socket and see a tiny surprised face, you are not just seeing plastic, you are seeing the shadow of an ancient survival system. And for a second, plastic is not staring back. Your ancestors are.